What is your take on what the NBA seemingly proffered to the state legislature in New York State, saying that if gambling is legalized state by state, if the Supreme Court makes a ruling and state legislators can now legalize gambling in their state, that the NBA wants 1% of a cut? What do you think of that, Brent?
Well, like every operator, I laughed when I saw it. Not going to happen. Wait a minute. You've argued for decades that gambling in Nevada threatens the integrity of your game, and now you want a 1% integrity fee? Not going to happen. Rather interesting, though, Rich, from the standpoint that the NBA has been ahead of every other professional league in accepting the reality that gambling on sports is here to stay. Whether the Supreme Court allows New Jersey to accept those bets or not, you can gamble globally, offshore. You could go to a book in Costa Rica, Panama. If you're in London, if you're down in Australia, if you're in Hong Kong, you can bet. But the books are not about to start handing over 1% of the take. First of all, there's this misunderstanding of how much money is made by gambling on sports. The sports book here in Las Vegas, 4% is a pretty good hold. When you take a look at what happened, it was $4.5 billion bet last year. I mean, all these records they're public records. They have to file their income tax reports and everything. Far more money, ladies and gentlemen, is made on slot machines than betting on sporting events. So, but it was a foray that fascinated me, and all the operators will take dead aim against it, and not going to happen. Now, the thing is, the NBA can threaten a state like New York simply because they've got teams in the NBA. Good luck going to New Jersey where you've yanked a team out and put it in Brooklyn and say you're going to give us 1%, assuming that it's going to be legalized by the Supreme Court. And speaking of the Supreme Court, Rich,
yes,
the other thing is I'm going to assume that more than one of the justices saw the report. And they said, wait a minute, you're asking for you want to become part of the bookmaking operations. Of course we should legalize it. So I think that probably is going to help the legalization in New Jersey if I have to read the tea leaves. But I don't think, in the end, what the NBA has to do is just what they've done over in Europe and down in Australia, is what you do is you sell the rights within your building and the advertising rights to the different casino operators who book sports.
So what do you, but you know the NFL better than most, Brent Musburger. Do you think the NFL will ever, even if the Supreme Court makes its decision, open arm embrace what you have open arm embraced in this part of your career, Brent?
Well, because they've approved the Raiders' move to Las Vegas, and I drive past the construction site, not every day, but every third day, I'm by their construction site. And there's a bridge there over Interstate 15, Rich. I can walk from the Raiders Stadium to a half dozen sports books on the Strip and make a bet on the NFL. So if they're not embracing it, they better give me a good reason why, because you're putting up a stadium within walking distance of betting on your games. And unless they have got technology that I'm unaware of, you'll be able to sit in the stands and make a bet during the game.
For more Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Rich Eisen Show app.